Thanks, Richard.
So all you have to do is you have to put your thumb in the loop. It's a slip knot. See how it just pulls apart?
That's an art all in itself. I don't even thumb braid.
Well, what are you doing?
What am I doing? I'm a peer leader for Textile Arts Open Studio through CMHA,
Yeah.
Canadian Mental Health Association.
Right. And so you're still, both of you are still involved with that, and
Richard is involved as a participant now. He used to be a peer leader, but he's passed the baton.
I've retired from peer leading.
okay.
Yeah, so I took it up, and we have two of us peer lead, and it's a group of people that have had struggles with their mental health.
Yeah.
We've got a whole piece coming up about my experiences with electroconvulsive therapy. I was zapped.
Right.
Shock treatment, isn't
Shock
it?
treatment, yeah. And it saved my life.
Okay.
How to do that?
Well, because I was suicidal.
From
being depressed. We're dealing with some other personality disorders. But at a cost. I lost a lot of memory.
Okay.
So I don't have childhood memories. The ones that stayed behind are the bad memories. For however it, I went into it knowing that could happen, but not recognizing what the end result would be. I did 4 weeks, three times a week for 4 weeks, and then I was supposed to do maintenance, and then I got pissed off and decided I didn't need the maintenance, and it turned out I didn't.
Okay.
But that would have been going in and getting shocked once a week.
You mean, wow.
Yeah. I did an 18-week program, day treatment program at the University of Alberta Hospital. And again, that's another thing that kind of saved my life, because we got down to the nitty-gritty of why I do some of the things I do or did. But at the time, being desperate, I would have done anything if it was going to make me feel better.
And in ways it has, hey?
And it has. And I mean, I got back with Canadian Mental Health Association, and that's become a big part of my life.
Is that all volunteer or is it paid work?
It is all volunteer.
Wow.
The queer work. I'm not queer, I'm heterosexual.
Okay.
And so it gets interesting because it's a new world for me. And to see kind of the attitudes and the expression of feelings it's fresh and it's inspirational.
When I'm at Textile Arts, cross-stitching away in the peer support group at CMHA, that's a safe space.
Yeah.
And I feel quite comfortable and relaxed there.
Good.
And but I don't. And then when I'm at the university working away these days as a visiting artist in printmaking, there's quite a bit of conversation on queer issues. as a queer person, I'm always looking for safe spaces. If I walk into a situation I don't know before, I've never been in before, or if I meet someone new, I have to go through a process of evaluating, is this environment safe to be openly queer? Or is this person going to, give me a hard time? I think it was more fervent when I was younger, but as I age, I mellow.
Yeah.
So, but there's still that measuring of safety. Yeah, we're actually really
We're an example of opposites attracting.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Even down to Richard's education is formal in school.
Mhm.
Mine is, I'm self-taught.
Okay.
I learned some from my mom, and she was the one that initially developed my interest in working with fiber. I start from the finished product and work my way backwards. Richard is the other way.
Okay.
He starts with an item and adds to it,
Okay.
where I start with, this is what I want it to look like.
Mhm.
Like this one. I knew what I wanted this to look like. So then it was to make it that way.
Right.
I'm trying to, with this one, with the green at the bottom and the blue at the top, and this white for a cloud, I'm trying to show a sunset.
Right.
So what is this pattern called?
It's
What
called
is
a dress. It's called a Dresden plate.
Oh,
Dressing plate?
Dresden plate,
Dresden, as in
like in German, like Germany, Dresden.
Dresden?
Yeah,
Dresden's a city in Germany. And what's this?
that is basket weave crochet.
And look at,
And the symbolism here is, this I started just after the Ukrainian war started.
sometimes I still have a desire to make busy things. So every once in a while I'll do something that Marilyn can help with, but it's essentially me getting that kind of
Out of a system.
out of that desire, give it an expression. But then it's like this is quite simple and it's beautiful. So this is like Marilyn in action. This piece back here. Like my mental illness is schizophrenia, and I struggle with paranoia quite a bit. So when I'm planning, when something is important in my life, like making art, and there's something out there that's like sometimes I get a little paranoid about what Marilyn's up to.
With his art.
With my art.
It took a long time before he would let me take one of his pieces home to work on it.
Huh.
I had to get very creative. The first piece I did for him, that we did together, I had to measure the cross stitch. I made a backing. I sewed the edging on the backing, and then sewed the backing to the cross stitch. Now he gives me the cross stitch, and I can just crochet straight into the Aida cloth.
So are there aspects of your mental health that your diagnosis, Marilyn, that is helped, or how does that work in your art?
My diagnosis is I have major depressive disorder with borderline personality disorder and a few other disorders, but the borderline is the key one, and that tends to make me kind of cranky
And defiant.
and defiant and independent, and but I go off. Like, I'll go from being like I am right now to instantly being angry. And I've worked very hard to work on altering my perception of reality.
So, you know, the part of the soup that Marilyn and I make together as a metaphor, like we're flavoring a soup would be a good metaphor for what we do together. And when you take the soup of schizophrenia and put it next to
The borderline.
the borderline, the mental illnesses are very different, and my tendency to be paranoid is usually has to do with me feeling that Marilyn is being purposely defiant, and it's not. It's my paranoia.
But when it is, we can talk about it. I struggle every day with my depression. But I'm in a good place now.
Okay, let's just straighten that out a bit.
I used to rodeo
Yeah, nice.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up
because I know you were going to bring it up. You think it's just...
It's the cat's meow. She used to barrel race. Yeah,
Yeah.
ride rodeo. She's a rodeo queen.
I was a rodeo queen one year. Well, I was asked to run for Rodeo Alberta, Miss Rodeo Alberta. And
As the rodeo queen?
yeah,
So you were almost Alberta's rodeo queen.
yes.
Well, that's a heck of a thing to put on your resume. Why isn't it on your
Yeah, rodeo queen.
potential Alberta rodeo queen?
I'm Marilyn Olson, and I am a fiber artist. I do crochet. I crochet, knit, and quilt. I'm going to learn to tat this year, and I enjoy doing art with Richard.
My name's Richard Boulet, and I'm a textile artist myself. And oh gosh, been making textiles for quite some time. I like doing collaborative projects, so working with Marilyn is a lot of fun. You want me to go, or you
Go ahead.
Well, as far as the most labor-intensive thing I do is cross-stitch, and it's soothing, but it also gives me an opportunity to think about my role as an artist in terms of social politics. And so I combine text and image, and comment on whatever aspect of living a life I feel I should feel that I can comment on, and kind of go from there, and obviously share quite a bit with Marilyn on what I'm up to.
I do what I do because I enjoy doing it. I enjoy taking something that's flat and making a shape out of it. Or taking something that has a shape and changing the shape. So for me, that I find intriguing with everything I work on. I take a long string and I make a beautiful crochet piece. I'm not into the social politics, and I just enjoy making something that can make a statement without words. The words come from Richard.
Yeah. You're more image.
I'm more visual and
Worded image.
yeah, than the words.
Yeah.
But we do collaborate on the words because we work on them together.
Mm-hmm. Well, Marilyn and I met in a community textile environment, and I prefer to be the type of artist that has community ethics, like supportive, non-judgmental, you know, helping people get along and helping people and allowing other people to help myself, and rather than you know, other ways of approaching an art career. I'm usually pretty mellow and quiet about what I do.
And for Richard, it's a career. For me, it's a pastime.
Right.
Yet, as a pastime, we're managing to create art that says something. Where Richard is really strong, I may be very weak in that area, and then vice versa.
Marilyn is taking the lead in, like, Marilyn knows a lot more about textile, the materials that we work with, and she knows much more about sewing and how to, the technical details about working with textiles. And you have an aesthetic or a way of looking at presenting things visually that I don't have, and I like the direction that she's going in visually, and that allows me to kind of adapt to her. Whereas when we started out, she had to adapt to me. But I think there's a bottom line for Marilyn and I, and that is, you know, I talk about Dinah Haggerty because I can see it once a week, because that's where our textile club works out of, and it's such a beautiful creative space. But Marilyn and I caretake each other's mental health, and that is our bottom line reason, one of the bottom line reasons why the friendship is there in the first place, because there's a, you know, we're both people with lived experience with mental illness, so, you know, there's a bottom line, non-negotiable sort of, you know, we have to be supportive of each other in our mental health journeys. And that's a great equalizer too, because, you know, at CMHA there's the phrase, you know, mental health for everyone. And I find one of the ways to revolutionize alternative power structures is to promote mental health for everyone. It's starting to pill a bit. Starting to pill a bit.